Well, Michael, earlier in the show, we talked about Nico Imaliava.
I'm disgusted.
You are. You're
Yes.
Josh Heupel. You're the coach of Tennessee.
Yeah.
How do you handle this situation?
Listen, my answer is totally unrealistic. So I'm not going to lie to the listeners. I would just tell him to go F himself.
Okay.
I would also get fired because boosters would demand my head. So it's not even a real answer. But you have to get in bed with the sleaze, and you got to pay this kid because he's waited to the point of no return. It's spring. The portal's going to open, but no one as good as him will be in it. You're getting extorted. I think you got to pay him.
So realistically speaking, though, now if you're Josh Heupel, do you get involved in negotiations? Do you pull him aside and say, son, I really need you here? Or do you just sit back and say, call me whenever?
I'll throw the question back to you. Doesn't it depend on the structure of the program? Certain coaches are out of the financial discussions. The GM handles it. Other coaches are more hands-on. Is that a fair assessment?
It is a fair assessment, but I think kind of like any negotiation, when it's your star player, that's when the big dogs are like, okay, I need to make my star player happy. So normally I would let the GM deal with the backup punter and center and all of those.
You're going to get involved.
I got to get involved with this one.
Rico says it's the art of the deal. Next.
I got a couple things, Mike, dealing with something that you hold near and dear to your heart.
Yes.
Social media.
Oh, God. Okay.
No. All right. Behind door number one. Earlier this week, Pittsburgh Steelers defensive end TJ Watt tweets out a picture of him throwing up the deuces sign walking off the field.
Oh, we're doing this again. Okay.
Should the Steelers be worried that he is hinting upon retiring?
Can I offer comment before an answer?
Yes, we're here, man. We're here all day.
Why do grown men behave this way? Why would you go to social media and do cryptic teenage mean girls crap? This is so pervasive in the athlete community. Well, how do grown men behave this way?
Because you let the people fight your battles for you. Now the people in Pittsburgh will put the pressure on, and they'll call up the Pittsburgh shows, and they're demand we can't let this guy walk away from us.
Okay. I'd be concerned based on he's wanted an extension. He's watched Myles Garrett and Max Crosby, etc. get one. He's a Steeler lifer. He's on track to be a Hall of Famer. Yeah, I'd be nervous because we're in a day and age of player empowerment. We just saw Myles Garrett demand a trade. The team said we'll never trade you. Cutscene, we're going to bribe you instead, $40 million a year. So yes, they should be nervous.
Okay.
I'm sorry I was that verbose.
Hey. Well, just wait.
Oh, no.
There's more.
What now?
Remember Deshaun Watson?
Yeah, we do.
Well, he took to Instagram, said, everybody is doubting me. I'm going to be way better than I was before. Will anybody take a flyer on this guy?
No.
Is his career essentially over?
I think it is. Look, he isn't the same player. The off-field stuff, whatever effect that's had mentally on the field, I can't speak to. On the field, not the athlete he was. That's before he blew his Achilles out. Bad right shoulder that clearly something lingered. He doesn't cut it loose. He doesn't push the ball. He doesn't process. And he's also a suboptimal human. I don't see any level I would invite that into my locker room. Now. 5 years ago, 4 years ago? Oh, yeah. I don't know anyone who could ever imagine it playing out the way it played out.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people thought that maybe it would be like when Michael Vick came back. He still had a lot in the tank, and his career wasn't over. He kind of revived his career playing with the Eagles. But
last 2 years, 12 touchdowns, 7 picks total. That's what you got.
He looks baked. Kenny, you want to get in on this?
Yeah, he looks baked. I couldn't agree more. Also, like Mike said, suboptimal human being.
Not ideal.
Not ideal.
I'm just talking about on the field, but yes, you're
also
right.
Suboptimal.
Okay. Finally, I saved the best for last when it came to social media, Mike.
This gets worse and worse.
Oh, no. For you, this one gets better.
Okay.
There's a certain athlete who just tweeted out a picture of LT in the Giants jersey. Abdul Carter.
I mean, yeah, if the Giants took Abdul Carter, it would be Nick Lidstrom level explosion.
Oh, no.
I mean, that's all he did. It was just a pic. on the social media, just a picture of LT in good old 56.
Well, that's awfully provocative. I don't think the Giants are smart enough to do it. But I think he's the best player in the draft. I think it's Cam Ward, it's Abdul Carter, and it's Mason Graham. I think those are the top 3 players in the draft for me. I'm not sold on Hunter because I don't know what position I'd play him at.
Can I add a question onto your question, Rico?
Question mark?
Sure. Question mark? Why are all of these athletes, whether it's a college athlete, whether it's pro athletes, you look at it across the board in sports, even take football out of it, you can do that. Why is social media becoming this thing that people do, whether it's posting a picture, whether it's following somebody, whether it's unfollowing somebody, teams, players, whatever it is?
Because you could put pressure on your organization without putting pressure on the organization. Because it's the ultimate. I didn't say a thing. I just put a picture out there. I didn't say I was leaving. If you're TJ Watt, I never said I was leaving Pittsburgh. Why'd you put a picture up of you walking off the field holding up 2 fingers like, peace, I'm out of here? It's the ultimate implausible deniability.
It's so silly, though. It's like changing your Facebook relationship status to it's complicated. Like, what are we doing here? Why are we doing it like this?
Because it now puts pressure on ownership and management because okay, there's a problem. Do we fix the problem? Do we ignore the problem?
Or your agent says there's a problem. There are adult ways to handle it, but okay.
Do you think agents are advising their clients to say, all right, unfollow the Giants on social media to send a message? You don't think that comes anywhere but from the players?
I think some, man.
Okay, well, then I quit on everything. If that's really happening,
There's too many players doing it for maybe not one of them to be advised by somebody to do that.
I advise the Giants to take Abdul Carter. Next.
Mike, the NFL, we talked about it earlier this week, fired 3 referees.
I love it.
Yeah, they're basically unprecedented. They're going to hold them accountable. I guess this is now going to be the new way. Do you know where the 3 referees are going to end up?
Well, it used to be when you were a bum, they'd give you a soft landing and put you in college football, or they'd make you a training ref. Now it just sounds like they're out on their ass. And I read a comment. One anonymous ref said, this is turning into a hyper-competitive environment. There are no favorites anymore. The culture's changing. No, I don't know where they're ending up.
Well, they'll be at a Power 4 conference near you. So
AAC.
No, Power 4. So
so they're gonna go to college football.
Yeah, they're gonna go to college football.
So the refs who can't hack it there now get to screw up your Saturday.
There you go, buddy.
They should be doing Tulane versus ECU. That's the level they should be.
Now you're going to extra not want to watch college football.
Kenny, there really doesn't need to be any more reasons at this point.
Got another one.
The Kansas City Chiefs want to own Christmas Day, like the Lions and Cowboys own Thanksgiving. Looks like the league may tell them no. Should the Chiefs get that Christmas Day if they really want it? They want to play every Christmas Day. Should they be allowed to have Christmas Day?
No, that's a league decision. And again, while Mahomes is there, it makes a lot of sense, but that's not forever. Kansas City's not going to be as marketable, and it's not a big market. So, no. I think the NFL, there's too much money tied up in these games. They're going to try to have matchups. They're selling each of these games as individual, $150, $200 million balloons. So I'll say no. Okay. But as long as the Lions aren't stuck playing on Christmas every year.
No, they're locked into Thanksgiving, and they're like, we want that tradition.
I don't want to do both.
I got you. Well, they may play this year.
No,
stop
that, right now. Thanksgiving.
That's not on me. That was Rod Wood. So,
Xavier Legette.
All right, last one. Which of these 5 teams can't afford to have a bad year?
Okay.
Arizona Cardinals, Indianapolis Colts, Miami Dolphins. Oh, I'm sorry, 4 teams, and the Dallas Cowboys.
Right off the rip, I think if 3 of them had a bad year, they'd broom out the entire organization, coach and GM. If Arizona tanks, everyone's dead. Indianapolis, everyone's dead. Miami, everyone's gone. Hell, you heard whispers this year Mike McDaniel's in some trouble.
Right.
Dallas, I just can't predict what an 83-year-old maniac is going to do. But
which one? Absolutely,
least,
yeah.
I'd say Miami. Because you have a $30 million player in Tyreek who now may be facing some charges. You have a big money quarterback that you may not trust. You got a coach you may not fire. Stephen Ross does not have the best rep as an owner. I'd say Miami.
Okay. Kenny?
Oh, I agree with Miami. And also, I think the only wrong answer here is Dallas, because I just don't think there's any pressure to do anything ever in Dallas, because how many times have they made the playoffs and done nothing?
They're not operating in reality.
No,
I'm with you.
Absolutely
it's weird.
All right. That's your Football Blitz. 97.1.